Hey, beautiful people. I pray that you guys are blessed and highly favored. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. I'm so happy to be here. So blessed for the new subscribers, the new following on Facebook and Instagram. If you're on Facebook, get over to our ministry page, Grace Watt Family, where we have over 100K followers supporting us and committed to just watching our videos, sharing their comments. Get over to my Instagram, and I am trying TikTok, y'all. So I think this week my topics are going to be very touchy but very open and honest, which I feel like we don't really get in the church for our religious and spiritual people. But let's be honest and open and real, especially for those who are looking to get married or who's in a marriage and is wondering what is happening. So today we're talking about why your sex drive has fallen dramatically in marriage. And being with my husband for going 9 years, for 9 years, married for 8. Still so strange saying that because I don't feel like we've been that long together. But guys, you know why I'm looking down my notes. But being with my husband for such a long time and also experiencing so much, because as I've said many times in my videos, me and my husband were babies coming into marriage. And so we had so much conflict and so much baggages to resolve while married. And so we got to see each other's weaknesses, each other's vulnerability, each other's pain in such a highlighted way. And out of our pain, it formed and shaped and changed things in our relationship. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk off my head and then I'm going to look at my notes. I thank God for one of my biggest mentors right now in my life, and his name is R.C. Blakes. Ladies, I'm putting you on game. Like, find this guy, R.C. Blakes, on YouTube, wherever. I read his book all the time. I listen to his books over and over. And I am obsessed with his YouTube videos, and especially when I can relate to them. And what he does is teaches women to think like queens and to carry themselves as women with value and purpose and not to sell themselves short. And that's my calling as well, more because of what I've been through. Everything he speaks about, I've experienced it because I was one of those young ladies who did not know my value, did not know my worth, and was selling myself short. And I know right now some of you guys are watching me where you know 100% you are selling yourself short. Like, girl, let me tell you something, okay? You are worth it. Like, when your understanding and your awareness of your worth come into fruition, like when you really see how worthy and how full of value you are, just because it has nothing to do with outer beauty, it has nothing to do with inner beauty, it's just because of who you are, right? You are worth it. And then when you start tapping into self-growth, self-development, self-love, and you become let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something. Like, when you start to love you so much that nobody can tell you nothing. Like, you love your flaws, you love your poo, you love your mess, right? And I'm not saying you're not growing, you're not becoming, but you're just in love, okay? When you become in love with you, nobody, I mean, nobody, you see my face? Nobody can tell you anything, right? Let's get off of that. Anyways, back to our experience. And I'm always throwing my husband dirt out there, right? And I'm always throwing my dirt out. But I feel like me giving you guys my dirt and my husband dirt is not like no one give their dirt to boast, right? It is so that you will not make the same mistake we've made, or you will better yourself, better your marriage, your relationship, your friendships for good, okay? Now, a few things that I've realized in our marriage. One, how you appreciate or reject each other will, and I'm talking about sex, or in the area of sex, in the area of friendship, in the area of openness, in the area of emotions, how you accept or reject each other will have an effect on your intimacy, right? And so if you go into this relationship, this marriage, very sexual, very open with your sexuality, and then one person is rejecting of that, you can become withdrawn, right? You can become withdrawn. And so because you've withdrawn and you're no longer openly sexy, openly sexual, the sex decrease. Another way is if you've experienced sexual trauma, and you know when I say that, your first thought is probably rape, molestation, but this can be porn. If you've watched porn as a young person, that's trauma, because what porn teaches your soul and your mind is to violate and to see a woman in such a way that is degrading. She's only there for pleasure and for sex. There's no need to know who this person is. And so when you've been through such trauma in your past, what you do, you come with that trauma in your marriage. And by coming in your marriage with this trauma, what you do is, one, you might not take on board the other person's feeling, on how you are approaching them sexually. So someone's been through trauma, or both been through trauma. Now this person is coming in like a porn star with someone who's also been affected by sex, who's now gonna close down because how you're handling your person is very degrading and disrespectful. And so we come into marriage with a sex behavior, a sex personality that is defiling, right? The one thing that I know that God had to deal with me before marriage, so I gave my life to God in April 2014. By November 2014, I met my husband. I did not know he was my husband. He knew I was his wife. I did not know. And but that time of surrendering to God, God had isolated me and was really cleaning me up sexually. I was no longer out there, you know. And so I know that God believes in cleaning his vessels up before marriage. And some people go into marriage without being cleansed, right? And so the past has a huge effect on their marriage. Yeah, and not to say that I did not struggle in this area, because I have, right? But through communication, through understanding, you can get better in one, speaking about it, understanding each other, and working past it. So each time you are sexual and intimate, both are coming out happy and content, and none is coming out feeling defiled and degraded or triggered because something someone did have taken their minds back to their past. Now, when it comes to that person who's watched porn, you now expect your person to behave like a porn star, or you've taken that sinful behavior into your marriage and expect your marriage to pleasure you in such a way that you were pleasured by sinning and watching porn. And so all this is things that you need to be delivered from. You need to repent, and you need to surrender and really commit yourself to God for healing. Both, right? Both. Whether you are abused or you watch porn or both, healing needs to take place, right? Another thing is how we used to speak. Well, to be honest, I was an island girl, or I am an island girl, and I don't feel like I was exposed to sex when it comes to my peers. We were quite childish. So I feel like it's when I went around other people, other groups who were older than me, that I was exposed. But unlike me, you probably had peers who exposed you to certain things early: porn, sex talk, sex ideas, body ideas, what you think about this opposite sex body or the same sex body. So you have these ideas, and then you come in with these dysfunctional thoughts and these dysfunctional image and ideas into your marriage, right? One of the things that Jamaicans, as you know, my parents are Jamaican. I consider myself Jamaican just because I was born on the Cayman Islands, but my parents are Jamaican. So it's like a Ghanaian being born in the United Kingdom. They're still Ghanaians, but that's how I see myself. Though I was born on the Cayman Island, I consider myself Jamaican, right? Because my parents are from Jamaica, right? So one thing that we would say as Jamaican, or as big saying in Jamaican, is bad man no bow cat, which means, I'm a man and I do not go down on a woman, right? And going down on a woman is degrading. And one thing that I grew up with is going down on a man is also degrading, because in my head, if it's degrading for a man to go down on me, it's degrading for me to go down on a man. And I carried that for a very long time in my head and in my personality, right? And so when even someone will, when I'm in a relationship and someone would suggest that, I will find that quite disrespectful. Do you understand? So whatever ideas you were brought up with, you now bring that idea in your marriage. And then there's a problem, because what you might think is disrespectful might be what your partner desire, and that's what makes them feel loved or satisfied. But now you won't do it because for you it's disrespectful, right? And so coming into marriage with all these baggages will cause, eventually, especially if you guys don't come together, have the conversation, really become selfless to please one another. Now, I'm gonna be 33 this year. I don't feel it, I don't look it, okay? But what I've learned is, being in a marriage and having intimate sexual experience, right? What I've come to understand, being someone who's been exposed to sex quite young, is there's different type of people when it comes to sex, different kind of mannerism. There's the people who just go in like cave people. They go in, bang, bang, done. There's people who wants to be held, touched, really experience one another. And then there's people who just don't want to do nothing. Just take it. And I've learned that if you do not have the conversation of how to please one another, in the long run, sex is going to decline. If you've had the conversation and still you are not being pleasured or fulfilled sexually, it's going to decline. If you are feeling rejected sexually, it's going to decline. Anything in life that you feel is not satisfying, no one really wants to do it. And so with marriage and sex, it's all about having the conversation and all about meeting one another's needs, especially for the cave people who just want to bang bang and lay down. I definitely know that that is something you brought in from your past into your marriage, because marriage shouldn't be, especially if the other person is not satisfied that way, should not be a caveman form of sex and you go to sleep and the other person is up just thinking like, what the hell did I just experience? Okay. And so I would say you need to be educating yourself sexually. You need to be having the conversation with each other, and then you need to put in the work, because if you want to be in a marriage for a long term and you want to be fulfilled and happy sexually and as a whole, you definitely need to have the conversation, put in the work, speak about, even if it's uncomfortable, speak about what makes you feel good sexually. Okay. And I know, like, in religion and especially Christianity, we are taught that sex is bad and then we have to get into marriage and then enjoy sex, right? It's crazy. But sex was created for marriage and it's beautiful, okay, when both of you are in agreement. And I am talking about a holy marriage. And I know that there's other marriages out there where people do what they feel is best, and I respect. That's your life, that's your sexual life, do what you want. But I'm speaking to those who want to have a godly marriage in the sight of God and have a happy sexual relationship. Now I'm going to touch on other bits that I feel like can defile and cause a marriage to decline, or sex in marriage to decline. And I'm sure that there's way more to it than what I've taken notes of. But if you don't hear anything that you're thinking, please just share it in the comment below. I don't want to be long, so let's go. The first thing that I have is appearance and hygiene. Right now, I'm gonna have to ask my husband how I was like, but I feel like I just started learning this like probably 2 to 3 years ago. And I started learning this after I came out of the church. And the church that I was going to and the things that I was listening to at this time is very religious and very judgmental and very, as a woman, cover up yourself, cover up and don't. And I'm like, I'm young. When I was in the church, I felt like I was in my 50s, y'all. I'm young. And even if you look at my pictures and my videos, I dress and I behave quite mature. And there's nothing wrong with being mature, but when you're aging, and you're not aging in numbers, but you're aging, it's not a pretty look, okay? And I've gotten younger over the past few years, like 2 to 3 years. I've gotten younger because I'm actually taking care of my mindset, my spirit, and my body. And I thank God for the awakening. Like, serious. Appearance and hygiene, right? I feel like as a woman, when when I am presentable in the house, my husband notices. So that means if I'm not presentable, he also notices, right? And men, you do not get off on this. Like, I feel like there's this idea that men can get away with this. You cannot. Okay? But appearance and hygiene, even men, how you present yourself in your home and how you carry yourself in your home matters. Certain things we do, I'm talking about women and men now, women and men, certain things we do at home can be a turn off to our partners, right? And I've seen a few things, okay? Not just with myself, but with people that will message me, or I'm the type who give away my WhatsApp and have conversation with people who connects with me. And even me as a friend or as a sister, if I come around and you look a type of way and I'm in your house, how do you think I feel as just your friend and your sister? How do you think your partner will feel? And so one thing I've learned is appearance and how you carry yourself at home matters. And I'm gonna do a video for my ladies, but men, you can watch it and take some points, okay? But one of the things I enjoy doing right now is getting up, sorting baby out, and then right away going to have a wash, brush my hair, and put on something nice in the house. Now when I'm buying clothing for home, this is the other video. I'm gonna come off this. But now when I'm buying clothing for home, it's very presentable, it's very feminine, it's very sexy, but yeah, appropriate for my kids, right? So appearance and hygiene matters. I'm gonna get into another video for these, but take care of your appearance. Remember when you just met your partner, how you used to fix yourself just to go and see them, right? Still bring that to your marriage, because once you're with someone for a very long time, you can get very comfortable, and your partner is seeing you at home on, like, not pleasing at all, and then they're going out and they're seeing women put together outside. Obviously they're not home, and then they're coming back home to you. Okay? Hygiene. Learn to brush your teeth, learn to floss, learn to scrape your tongue. Yes, there's something called a tongue scraper. Okay, not with a toothbrush, with a tongue scraper. It exists. Okay, you buy a tongue scraper and you scrape your tongue every 2 to 3 days, or if you're like obsessive like me, every day. Comb your hair, spray yourself, have your own smell. When your spouse says, oh, you smell nice, right? And remember, we're not talking about just a year, 2 year in marriage. I hope not. But long term, you want to keep your appearance and yourself up, your health, your sleep, you're sleeping well, your health. Now, when I remember going through depression, I was struggling with insomnia, couldn't fall asleep, then couldn't stay up. I was eating bad. Oh my God, there's so much that can affect your health, right? And so being on this journey where I'm eating healthier, I'm working out, I'm really paying attention to my health in my 30s. Listen, this is going to benefit me in the long run. Like, when I see women in their 50s, their 60s, and their 80s, and they're looking fabulous, I'm all for that. But that come with a price. That come with eating healthier, working out, taking care of your mind. Like, it's so strange where someone will go to gym and try to eat healthy, but they won't nourish their mind and be aware of what they're putting in their head. And one thing I would definitely say is do it for you. Like if you're doing this for someone and this person leaves you, moves on with their life, or God forbid, goes home to the Lord, you're gonna stop doing this. You're gonna stop taking care of yourself. You take care of yourself for you. No one else but you. Okay? You don't take care of yourself for a man. You don't take care of yourself for society. You take care of yourself for you. Right? This is the only vessel you have. And this vessel you cannot change. Right? Can't go and say, hey, you know what? I need a new body today. Let me go buy one or whatever. Take care of it. Even though you're married to someone, you think, oh, I'm married to this person needs to stay attracted to me. For someone to stay attracted to you, you have to be attractive to them. And if you're not attractive in their sight, and I'm not being carnal, attraction is not just some outer stuff, it's inner stuff. And so this is why you should be growing, reading the books, listening to the poems, listening to the music that's going to benefit you, right? If you're listening to negative things all the time, you're going to be a negative person because that's what you put in you. Whatever you put in you is going to come out of you. Okay, if you have negative surroundings. And you need to be honest, right? Be honest about the things that you're going through in your marriage to yourself, and be honest with your spouse. Like if your spouse mouth smell, tell them. I know it's difficult, but you have to tell them. If they smell, you have to tell them. I was watching this thing. Who was I watching? Oh, this girl on Facebook, and she does story time, and I love listening to her stories. And someone wrote in and said to her, she's been dating this guy for 2 years. 2 years. And for 2 years, this guy stinks. Okay. For 2 years. So when she says he wash in the morning, go out, have a hard day at work, come in and sleep. I can't even do this. Anyways, again, I'll touch on sexual trauma. Sexual trauma can cause your sex in your marriage to deprive, and how you can, I would like to believe that by healing, and healing is a daily thing, but how you can deal with this is one, having those conversations on how you can approach that person, or even while you're being intimate, making sure they're okay. Therapy, counseling, prayer, deliverance, like work on becoming healed if you're that person, but also if you're on the person on the opposite side, work on knowing what you can do to help your spouse, right? Especially if you're already in it, right? If you're not in it, you're not married, these are conversations you need to be having with whoever you're dating or whoever you are considering. When you're with someone who's had sexual trauma, the other spouse, and they're depriving you of sex because of this, the other person can get frustrated and angry. But this is not a time to get frustrated and angry. This is the time for compassion, for love, for kindness, because you know that where they're coming from is from their past trauma, which can affect them today, like right now. And if you say you love and you care about this person, right now is to be kind, to be loving, to be understanding, and to find out how you can approach them in a way where they do not feel triggered or deprived or defiled, right? Another thing is probably some health issues, right? So I have some guy friends, and one in particular was struggling to have an erection in his marriage, but was afraid to open up about it, right? And when you become afraid to open to your spouse about what you're struggling with, especially a woman, because women are all for their man, they're gonna fight for you, they're gonna be there for you. But when you are afraid and you are not touching her and you're not attending to her in that area, she's gonna automatically think, oh, what's going on with me, or why are you not attracted to me, or why are you not coming on to me? And so being open with your struggles, if you can't have an erection, if you're having some problems down there, be open with it. Even the opposite sex women can be going through things as well. And it is very, very important to be open with your spouse on where you are sexually. Now, this one is lack of mental and emotional stimulation. Now, first of all, you need to know your partner. Me, I'm a reader, I'm a learner, I'm a grower. You will never see Ken like this another year. She's gonna be a different person next year because she's gonna grow and she's gonna develop. Now, to be with someone who's not a learner and it would be mad, right? So you need to make sure that you're equally yoked in so much areas, right? Your values, your norms, your learning habits, your daily habits, your health habits, your financial habits, right? And equally yoked, people think, oh, if I'm good at money, you must be good at money too. No, equally yoked is, can I balance you out or can you balance me out, right? Like I spoke about how I struggle with anger, right? If my husband was unable to balance me, right, there'll be a problem, right? And so even as parents, we might discipline differently, and one might need a, hey, calm down, babe, going too far, or you're a bit too soft, balancing each other out, right? So equally yoked doesn't mean oh, I love fashion, you love fashion too. I'm good with money, you good with money. No, I might be 90% good with money, right? My husband might be 10%, right? I might be 40% when it comes to the kids. My husband might fill the rest. Equally yoke, yeah? Our strength helps each other and not defeat each other. My strength is not gonna kill my husband's pride or kill my husband's, strength. His strength is not gonna murder me, but we are equally managing with what the strength and the weaknesses that we have. So being with someone, you can't have conversations with them. You lack communications, right? Lack of intellect, right? Listen, sex for a woman, especially some men, begins way before the bed, right? And if you are not stimulating the mind, the emotions, the soul, and you want to jump in bed and have this burst of firework, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, especially if you're in a long-term relationship. You have to learn to stimulate each other before you get into bed. The last one is the trust have been broken. So someone continuously cheats, continuously lie. And here's the funny thing, like, people think cheating is just physical. The Bible says just look at her. Just look. Just look. Cheating is emotional. Having conversations with people who are stirring your heart. Cheating is texting inappropriately, and so we have to be careful of the trust that we're taking advantage of and still expecting love and romance and sex in your marriage when you are mishandling your person, right? So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you got something from it, and I do hope that you will get through it in your marriage and that things will get better, right? And it is possible for your sex life to get better. Have the conversations, get the help, get the advice, get the guidance that you need. Please subscribe to my channel, y'all, because by subscribing helps me. If you are in the competition to win my books and my study course coming up on self-love, remember, just be a subscriber, right? Comment, comment competition, share it to 10 of your friends, screenshot it, and send it to the WhatsApp link below. God bless.